Hello friends and welcome to today's video. My name is Roya. For those of you that are new here, I post about like bookish content, reading, decorating, just things of that nature. But today I wanted to do a video where I am going to be reading as many books as possible for the next few days. Today is Saturday, so I am starting this like Saturday 3 p.m. as like my beginning of this reading marathon. And the reason I'm doing this is because I am really behind on my Goodreads challenge this year, which if you don't know what that is, it is a like an app on your phone, and you can set a goal for yourself. You can review books, you can see what your friends are reading, and I have set myself a goal of 55 books to read this year. Last year I read 50 books, and the year before that I believe I also read 50 books, and then in 2020 I read 35. So this year I have set my goal to 55, and compared to the last 3 years, I am actually really behind this year compared to other years. But I've had trips and I've had other things going on, and going to work, it's just been really busy. So I'm hoping this video will be a good opportunity for me to catch up. Currently, I am reading Slooh Foot by Brahm, and this book is so spooky. It's so autumnal and so like creepy and cozy at the same time. It is basically about main character Abatha, and think like Crucible, Salem witch trial vibes. This is New England. She's living amongst Puritans in her village, and she's married, and her husband happens to be fair-minded compared to the other people that are there. He's more open-minded. Mostly being a woman and the fear of witchcraft, you have to be really careful with the way that she lives. It's a hard time. Like this point in history, this point in time is like a very difficult time for me to even read about. Is like some sort of creature in here. I call him Slooh Foot. There's other creatures of the forest. I have yet to figure out what is actually going on. Almost halfway through. So I need to finish this book because I started it before Halloween and I haven't even finished it, and it's like first week in November is over. Like, it's pretty embarrassing. So this is first on the docket. So I want to finish this hopefully by at least tomorrow night or Monday night. And the goal is to finish at least 1 or 2 more books by the end of this week. And I obviously did not pick thick books or anything like that because I need to just read more. So I picked a few. I think the first book that I want to prioritize after Slooh Foot is this one, Bluebeard's Castle by Anna Biller. And I've never seen this book before. This cover gives me like vintage 1960s movie vibes. History writer Judith meets Gavin, a handsome and charming baron, at a birthday party. And after they have their honeymoon, he whisks her away to a secluded gothic castle, but soon she finds herself trapped in a nightmare, as her husband's mysterious nature and his alternation between charm and violence become increasingly frightening. So this sounds really, really good. The next book that I want to read after Bluebeard's Castle is A Study in Drowning. This one's super popular right now. I think I got this one from a book box, so my edition is very, very pretty. The inner flaps, the inner covers are all decorated. It's about a main character who has this book that she really, really treasures, obsessed with the author in a way, and it seems like she is being sent to the author's house, I believe, to redesign the author's estate. And so she feels like this is her destiny, like this is where I'm meant to be. So she meets somebody else there. Off the bat, they don't seem very friendly with each other, but they go through the author's like letters and records and documents. And this other person has the opposite kind of feeling for this author. I made myself a cup of winter spice tea because I've already had enough coffee. I've had a lot of tea yesterday. I think I need to kind of chill with the caffeine for the next few days. So I made myself some herbal tea, and it's getting colder outside. It's like 50 degrees on average here. So I'm ready to dive into Slooh Foot, and I cannot wait to just read and just be present in the moment and read with my tea, maybe put an ambiance on and just read undistracted. So let's go start reading. I will say, I just had a thought while I was reading. When you read a book as atmospheric as the one I'm reading, or just any book in general, whatever book sings to your heart and makes you happy, it doesn't have to be a specific genre. if you pair like an ambiance that is related to that book, it feels like you're in it. So I'm reading about obviously this girl in this New England village, and there's a lot of mention of nature and creatures and noises and things like that. And so I found an ambiance that's like a village ambiance, and it's in the autumn. So it's fitting regardless. And just reading it and hearing these descriptions of like these creatures in the woods, it's just so like atmospheric, and I feel like I'm there, especially if the author's really good at imagery and things like that. So yeah, that's a tip if you're struggling with focusing and like you're in a reading slump. Just put on an ambiance, get some candles, and just read. All right, so we've got Mod Podge, and this is the matte because this puzzle is already shiny enough, and when I want to display it, I don't want it to be any shinier than it already is. So got this from the craft store, and we've got the puzzle on some sort of protective surface underneath, and then you can use like one of those Cricut tools, but I'm just using like a card. This is better than a sponge because it will help get into the cracks of the puzzle. So here goes nothing. Oh, I'm scared. That might be a lot. All right. And I have a paper towel in case there is a spill. We're just gonna get started. And this is good because I'm already seeing the glue or the Mod Podge go into the cracks. And I'm not gonna panic about this white color because Mod Podge dries clear, and it will give us that nice matte finish that we want. Now, I definitely wouldn't do this for every single puzzle that I would complete, but this one is a really nice puzzle, and it's Dracula, and obviously Dracula is one of my favorite stories, and I would probably hang this in my reading room. But if it was just like a 500 piece, like normal puzzle that you would pull out on a Friday night if you're bored, then no, I'm not going to do this, but okay, it's a little chaotic, but it's looking better now. Better than having books on the floor. Just a little update. Abatha at this point is working with Samson, who is able to give her powers and empower her and use magic to do things that are not quite natural. And now she has basically healed the Reverend's daughter. And it's a really risky move because it could easily look like witchcraft because it's so miraculous. So she's starting to like do like magic and things like that, but still try and keep it secret. So the stakes seem to be getting a little bit higher. I will say I'm a little bit nervous because I read The Crucible in high school and I've read about the panic and the hysteria and everything. I mean, I've been to Salem, I've been to the museums, I've sat in like a courtroom of what it would be like if you were in Salem and you were accused of witchcraft. And I'm a little bit nervous to see what's going to happen. I know from what other booktubers have said that Abatha gets her revenge in this book, but that's all I know so far. And I am about halfway through at this point, so I've been reading for about an hour or two, but I'm going to keep going until I get tired. And at this point it is 11:30, so I'm thinking maybe another 20-30 minutes and I'm going to call it for the night. While I'm here, I wanted to show you these illustrations that are in the book. So this author not only wrote this book, but he illustrated it too. And this is Abatha, this is the main character. These pictures are so creepy and just so, like, I don't know, makes me feel like I'm actually there. Like, it's so accurate and, I don't know, just provides really great context and imagery. But we have Abatha, ugh, so creepy. Forest, Creek, Sky, Samson. So this is Samson who has gotten friendly with her, and he is basically empowering her and involving her with magic, and he has nourished her cornfields and brought them back to life because they were struggling before. I don't know who this character is quite yet. I know of Slooh Foot. I don't know who he is quite yet, and then I'm guessing this is her too. But yeah, I realized that I did not provide a brief summary of the book so far. All I've said is that it's got like Crucible vibes. It's a New England village. You're living among Puritans and everyone is scared of witchcraft. Everyone is hypocritical of each other and insecure in their own faiths, and they're trying to be religious and all of that. So our main character Abatha was married to Edward, who I said before was like a fair-minded, open-minded man for the time, relatively. And he has a brother who I guess has some debts that he owes to somebody, and he basically used this farm that is in his brother's name as like collateral. Something happens like in the woods and Edward dies, and the guy Wallace, his brother, which is Abatha's brother-in-law, thinks it's the right thing to do, and he takes it upon himself to try and take back the farm because he wants to use it as debt. And then since Abatha will be a single woman, she'll be a widow, he would want her to or marry his nephew and basically just be controlled by Wallace now that she doesn't have her husband to protect her. And she's trying to grow her crop because if she fails at being a single widow and like upkeeping her home and her, you know, her farm, then it's easier for Wallace to take it back. And it's just like a weak situation, which is why she lets Samson heal her crop field, her cornfield. But Wallace is not giving up, and so far he has been just relentless and is trying to get her in trouble, trying to get her to give up the land. And I think right now he's like in the middle of trying to make a deal. So yeah, just reading about Wallace is really aggravating. Hello, it is now day 2 of the reading marathon, and it is like 2:12 in the afternoon, so we had quite a busy morning. We had some errands to run. I went to Anthropology and picked up some things. So now I have about 2 to 3 hours to read. So let's get started. It is Sunday night and I just finished Slooh Foot by Brahm, and this book is unlike any other. And I don't just say it because it is like spooky and all that. No, it is because it's such a raw, like in-your-face book. But yes, now that I finished this, I can read my next book. Since it is Sunday night and I have work tomorrow, I'm not going to stay up too late. But I've done so much reading today and I just want to wind down a little bit tonight. So I think we're going to watch Clue, like the older movie, because I've always wanted to see it and it's one of my favorite board games. So we're going to watch Clue. So I have Bluebeard's Castle with me here, and I've been reading this obviously today, this evening. I'm on page 42, I think, but so far it's really good. It sounds like our main character is kind of like a goody two-shoes kind of girl. She has now met with Gavin, this mysterious man who's like very forward with her, and he's already in love with her, so kind of suspicious from the beginning. It sounds like a very gothic read, and she even references Rebecca in this book, so I am loving the vibes. Hello, so it is now Tuesday evening, Tuesday night. I just got out of work and I changed into some comfy clothes to work out later, but I think I'm gonna treat myself with a little trip to Home Goods to pick up some like winter decor, like Higa Scandinavian stuff and some coffee syrups that I ran out of. And then also I might treat myself to a New Yorker magazine because I've kept hearing about it for the last few weeks and I've never actually owned a copy, and it sounds like something someone like me would enjoy reading, and I love magazines like ever since I was a teenager. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and get ready to do that. Here's everything that I got from Barnes & Noble. I wanted to get a copy of the New Yorker magazine. This is my first copy. Just heard about the New Yorker before and I've wanted to read it for a while, so I want to test it out, see if I like it before I commit to a subscription. And then I got some poetry because I'm also trying to get into poetry, Japanese death poems, and I like already looked inside and it looks really interesting. And I got a notebook. It has classic books on it, and I think I will use this to write my own poetry. Okay, so this is a quick mini haul of some of the wintry items I got from Home Goods, and I'm not going to go into this too elaborately because I'm going to do a separate video on decorating for winter in like a Higa style, but I just got some blankets and some sheets. I don't have any sheets for winter, so it was nice to actually have a set. Some coffee syrups, a tea calendar, some like wooden garlands, mugs, and just some really cute items that just don't scream Christmas, but they're more wintry. Like this is so cute because it's like cottagecore and wintry at the same time. And then like this little wooden reindeer. I love things like this. So yeah, I went a little crazy, but to be fair, I will use all of these items. So it is Tuesday night. Excuse the horrid angle. I decided to just get in bed and lay down and read for the night because I just did a workout and it literally killed me. I think I went too fast, too much all at once after being out of shape for a while. So I'm just gonna lay in bed because I feel super heavy. But I got a essential oil diffuser in the back going, and I've got some water, and I've got my copy of the New Yorker I bought today, and then Bluebeard's Castle. So I'm gonna read this tonight, maybe turn on an ambiance and just have a chill night. Good morning, friends. I will admit I haven't been feeling the best this week. I'm having like just digestive problems and it's kind of wearing me out. So I haven't been reading as much. I know Wednesday night I was feeling it. I was not reading, I was sleeping. So I am going to give myself another day to catch up because I did at least want to read 2 books and I want to start the 3rd book for this video, and I am at least halfway through Bluebeard's Castle. and I read a chunk of it last night. So it is now day 5 morning. So let's see how much we can get done later today. Excuse my t-shirt. I know it is so it's so silly. It's a SpongeBob t-shirt. I couldn't resist it. It's one of my most comfortable t-shirts. We are going to be reading Bluebeard's Castle. As I said, I'm halfway through. I'm loving this book so far. Getting a little bit frustrated with the main character because she's a little naive, but it's all part of the story. I feel like she's going to be learning a lesson soon here at the end of the book. But yes, so I've got my tea. I've got my book. The vibes are vibing. The rain is raining. So I have an update. I have finished Bluebeard's Castle, and this book was so good. I married this guy, and he is very into her. Like, all of a sudden, things start going wrong. As she's uncovering the truth about him, he starts going into a rage. Unfortunately, she's also naive, and she doesn't quite understand what's really happening, and she keeps trying to like trick herself into thinking that it's not actually happening, but it is. But that's what this book is about. It is really good. I really enjoyed it, and I didn't know either, but there were pictures on the inside. I don't know if I already said that, but I enjoyed this. So this is my second book of the week that I have finished, and now I am probably going to read A Study in Drowning because it's really popular right now, and I think it's perfect for this time of year. It's cozy, and I also have a really pretty copy, which I think I got from my Owl Crate subscription. So look at the pictures, and I mean, this cover is just beautiful, but look at that, it's beautiful. So excited to read this, and I will let you know in my next update how it's going. Let me tell you, I am relishing this moment. It is, like I said, rainy and a little bit chilly, and I've got the window a little bit open, but still enough heat from inside, and I've got a lamp on, and I'm in my comfy clothes, and I'm reading my book. It's just great. I love this. Hello! So we got back from the used bookstore and from the craft store because I need a piece of poster board to be able to do my puzzle on a table, because I did it on the floor last time and it like hurt my back. So we got like a piece of like, not like cardboard, but like poster board, and it's about like 20 by 30, so it fits my 1,000 piece puzzles. And then I wanted to show you, I got a little nutcracker. I think painting him would be a really fun winter activity. And then I got a little house. It's so hygge and like Scandinavian. I love it. And it lights up, so I'm gonna paint this as well. And from the used bookstore, this is what I got. So they had a blind date with a book, and this one said a deliciously gothic thriller for young readers, which sounds right up my alley, and it was only $3. So I was like, how bad can it be? Even if I don't like the book, it was only $3. So my impatient self opened it up already, and it happens to be a Philip Pullman, and I like Philip Pullman's writing, and I've never heard of this one before. Count Carlstein, like that already sounds really cool. I've read when he wrote Ruby in the Smoke, I might be mistaken, but this sounds really good and like very cozy for this time of year. Even the back says a deliciously gothic thriller. So I'm happy with this. Probably the best blind date with a book result I've ever gotten. And then I just noticed this is also Philip Pullman. I've never seen this before, Lyra's Oxford, and it's illustrated, which was probably the reason why I bought it. It just looks so cool. And I am a sucker for like illustrated children's books, middle grade books. I'm not sure if this is considered a middle grade or just like a normal fantasy, but Witches, Alchemy, and Hidden Meanings of Things from the World. So I got Brave New World, and I've seen this everywhere. I've never picked it up. It's not that I didn't have interest, I just had seen it everywhere, so I was like overstimulated by it. It was only $7.50. It's that it is a darkly satiric vision of a utopian future where humans are genetically bred. In today's world, I guess this would be a good book to read too. We have been into puzzles, particularly the world of puzzles, and this one I've never seen before at Barnes & Noble, and it's a Bridgerton one, so I figure when I watch season 3 of Bridgerton, whenever it comes out, I'm going to do this puzzle too. This would be also great to listen to while I do my puzzles. I definitely need to keep reading a little bit tonight. I might start a puzzle, so let's see which one we do first. I have completed most of the outline, definitely not done with it though, but I've been doing this for 2 hours and I'm getting a little bit tired, and I think I'm just gonna go ahead and get in bed for the night and continue reading. But I have done a pretty good job, I think, and I've put the box on here so that there's more weight on this board so that it's less likely to slide around. But I will probably continue the rest of this tomorrow. But I'm having a lot of fun with it, listening to my records or YouTube in the background. Morning, and today is the last day of my reading vlog. I just wanted to film this outro really quick, and I wanted to go over the books that I have read, and I ended up listening to the rest of this on audiobook on Spotify. And if you didn't know, if you have Spotify Premium, you can listen to audiobooks for a lot of books, but I believe it's like 15 hours a month. Study and Drowning, I'm not sure if I mentioned it during any point of this video, but it is a gothic fantasy. The plot of it is basically about Effie, who has this fascination with this author, and like this author is everything to her. And something comes through at her school where there's an opportunity where she can submit like a design for the author's estate, and she gets accepted and she gets invited and she goes. But there's another student that seems to be in competition with her, but he's not quite as appreciative of this author that Effie loves, and she sees him as a threat. So there's kind of like a rivalry going on, and it's a little bit tense in the beginning of the book. I think it is really descriptive, and it's written so well that
I don't find myself just glossing over the sentences, like I actually had to take in each sentence. As for Slooh Foot by Brahm, which I read at the beginning of this video, I really highly enjoyed it. It was a longer one, there were pictures, it was just so creepy and atmospheric. It really felt like I was in Salem or like a New England village, and I could feel, like, as I was reading it, the chill of, you know, the air, the woods, like everything was just so picturesque and perfect. And I happened to be reading it while I had a window open and it was colder outside, so it really just set the tone and the mood. I really enjoyed it. It definitely is vivid and graphic a little bit, so just be aware of that. But I love that book and I'm so glad I finally read it. The second book I read, and the last book that I'm gonna talk about, is Bluebeard's Castle by Anna Biller, and this one was perfect. Like, I thought it would be great on like film or on the screen. Judith, who has grown up a little bit naive, she didn't receive the same kind of attention that her sister would receive because her sister is like beautiful, and Judith felt that she was never loved by her parents as much as her sister. She actually had a rocky relationship with her mother, and as a result she's grown up a little bit naive because she doesn't know how to handle attention because she's never had it before. It unfortunately makes her an easy target for Gavin, and Gavin is this supposedly super rich baron who gets her a castle, just woos her completely, and they end up getting married. They have a honeymoon, and then just like Max de Winter in Rebecca by Daphne du Maurier, things start going wrong. She starts hearing things in the house. Something is up with Gavin. He's never around, and they are running out of money, which is weird coming from someone who's a baron, right? So who lives in a castle. And so things start getting weird, and Gavin shows like furious behavior. He goes into a rage whenever Judith tries to bring up his business or inquire about his life, and she starts to realize that while she has been an open book to her husband, he has not been the same likewise. So it starts going downhill from there. I won't spoil it, but Judith starts to realize that things were not as they seemed. That brings us to the end of this video though. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope to make more content like this because I am truly behind on my reading goal and I need to just catch up in general, and I'm doing my best. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video and let me know if you decide to read any of these books. I hope you have a good week.